which is completed in 1981, and won the Duncan First Prize for the first project, Plant Science. He came to the University of Ibadan, where he won the Professor Ajibola Taylor Prize for the first project in 1981. He was studying for the BSc Agriculture degree at the University of Ibadan, and this is completed in 1981, and won the Duncan First Prize for the first project in Plant Science. The National Youth Service Corps program as a teacher at the Borno State Advanced Class College, Maiduguri, between 7 August 1981 and 8 August 1982. Thereafter, he registered for the service program in crop science and horticulture of this university. He completed the program on 21st December 1983. He then applied to the federal government of Nigeria scholarship for his PhD program in agronomy, which he completed on 21st December 1987. So Daniel Yola joined the Faculty of Development as a graduate assistant in the Graduate Studies program, now the Center for General Studies. During the 1966-1967 session, he was appointed as assistant lecturer in the Department of Agronomy, with effect from 1st March 1987, and he was upgraded as a lecturer with effect from 21st December 1988. He was promoted to the grade of lecturer 1 with effect from 1st October 1991. Then senior lecturer with effect from 1st October 1996, leader with effect from 1st October 2001, and professor with effect from 1st October 2004. He has over 70 articles in reputable local and international journals, and he has successfully provided benefits through 40 PhD, 42 MSc, 1 MPhil, and 16 doctoral students. A teacher of teachers, Professor Jani Ejola, has 3 of his former students and now professors in national and international practice. Are heads of departments, their respective universities. Within this university, Dr. Daniel Yola has served as academic representative from the Faculty of Agriculture and Forestry, Farm Industry 1992 to 1996, Departmental Postgraduate Seminar Coordinator 1991 to 1994, then 1991 to 1999, and from 2002 to 2004. Member of the 50th University Education Subcommittee 1997 to 1998. Alternative Chairman, Prof. for the Faculty of Agriculture and Forestry Practical Year Training Program, EYTP, 2002 to 2004. Member of the University Teaching and Research Farm Association Committee, 2004 to 2008. The Chairman, EYTP, Faculty of Agriculture and Forestry, 2005 to 2008. Head Department of Agronomy, from 25th January 2004 till 24th January 2012. And since 1988 has been a member of the University Senate. Outside this university, Dr. Daniel Yola has served as the first African project coordinator of the Joint National Institute of Agriculture, IIT, and University of Ibadan, for Foundation Supported Farmers Participatory On-Farm Project, 1991 to 1994. Member of the former committee that established the Faculty of Agriculture, University of Virginia, UNAT, now State University, based in 2000. The first acting head of department of the Faculty of Agriculture at UNAT from 2000 to 2004. They have also served as teaching scientists with the Wageningen Agricultural University in Netherlands from 1994 to 1995. He was teaching professor to the State University from 2012 to 2013. He is also person and consultant to the early farming network of Tropical Africa, affiliated 1992 to 1994, as well as the Food and Agricultural Organization, FA, 1995. Professor Daniel Yola is the recipient of several international awards and fellowships. This includes the Netherlands Fellowship on Potato Production, Storage and Technology Academy. The Swedish International Development Agency SIDA, Fellowship on Pesticide Management and Pesticide Production, Stockholm, Sweden, made in June 2004, and in Arusha, Tanzania, November 2004. This was studied in order as served as National Examiner, the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, University of Ilorin, the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, the State University, Abeokuta, Opa Agro University, as well as the University of Water, and South Africa. Professor Dani Deniola is happily married to the agriculture and the married best children. I now call on Professor Dani Deniola to deliver his presentation, competing with competitors in an endless competition.
growing of populous meteors, and the storing of propagators. The results of the study have made the winning of the prestigious Duncan Prize for the best project in plant science at the Buckingham Award of the My first journal article in Rebel Zoology of the Game Cattle, the life history and habits of Acra econina, with notes on Acra selecta, was from the study. Mr. Vice Chancellor, another condition was my choice in 1982 between the discipline of technology where I already won 2 prizes and horticulture where I was able to sustain myself through earnings from vegetable production. Eventually settled for the discipline of horticulture at MSc level in our Department of Agronomy, University of Ibadan. There was yet competition among the disciplines of horticulture, with science, farming systems for my choice, and I was to start my PhD program in 1984. The competition has been ended. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, food security is a challenge of global dimension as the population years toward 10.5 billion by 2050, according to United Nations 2011. Availability and accessibility of food in the right quantity and quality to meet the daily dietary demand of our ever-growing population can be enhanced by effective agricultural production and efficient distribution. These are all influenced by competition for available natural resources in agriculture and other sectors, as well as competition within the agricultural system. Competition is a struggle for existence and superiority. Competition exerts a powerful force in the plant community. Competition is maximum when available resource for growth becomes limited. Competition is a negative interaction where individuals make simultaneous demand that there see limited resources and while both suffers, one individual suffers less. Agriculture is an important sector of the economy with high potential for employment generation, food security and poverty reduction. However, these potentials have remained largely untapped, which has led to the dwindling performance of the agricultural sector, both domestically and in the international trade over years. As in 1961, Nigeria was the leading exporter of groundnut with a world share of 42%. The country also has 27% of the world's palm oil exports, 18% of cocoa, and 1.4% of cotton as major West African cotton exporter. This glory, however, declined over years. Hence, Nigeria's dominance in the export of groundnuts was eclipsed by China, United States of America, and Argentina as of 2008. Indonesia and Malaysia took over in palm oil. Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana also became the leading exporter of cocoa, while Mali and Burkina Faso led cotton exports. Competitors maintained their dominance due to strong marketing organizations that link the farmers to market and provide support in the form of improved planting materials, fertilizers, credit, and rural infrastructure, agriculture, and the economy. Important benefits of the agricultural sector in Nigeria's economy include provision of food, contribution to GDP, provision of employment, provision of raw materials to agricultural industries, and generation of foreign exchange earnings. Agricultural exports were the main source of foreign exchange earnings before the advent of petroleum. Decline in agricultural production in Nigeria began with the advent of the petroleum boom in the early 1970s. The boom in the oil sector brought about a distortion of the labor market. The distortion in turn produced adverse effects on the production levels of both food and cash crops. This in turn progressively made agricultural work unattractive and enhanced the law of the cities to farm workers. Collectively, this development causing the low productivity both per unit of land and per worker. Due to several factors, inadequate technology, acts of nature such as drought, poor transportation and infrastructure, and trade restrictions. As food production could not keep pace with increasing product population, Iraq began to import food. It also lost its status as a net exporter of cash crops such as cocoa, palm oil, and groundnuts, and there were competitions from other nations for the production and exportation of these commodities. Competition among infrastructures. While the availability and quality of rural infrastructure are never substitutes to efficient macroeconomic and agricultural subsidy policies and effective implementation of such policies, inadequate infrastructure can be significant constraint to growth and productivity. Rural infrastructure, like other public investments, raises agricultural productivity, which in turn induces growth in rural areas, bringing about higher agricultural wages and improve opportunities for non-family urbanization and farmland. Urbanization is often considered as having negative impacts on agriculture, for instance, from the loss of agricultural land to urban expansion and urban bias in public funding for infrastructure, services, and subsidies, agriculture, and mineral resources exploration. In various parts of Nigeria where there are activities of mineral resources exploration, such as tin mining in Jos Plateau State, gold mining in Iberedo, Osun State, crude oil exploration in Niger Delta areas, there are established evidences of pollution of agricultural fields for mineral resources explorations, destroying sources of livelihood of the host communities. These interferences have led to failing rural economy, mystery, and conflict between the host communities and the mineral resources exploration companies. An example is the case of Niger Delta area of Nigeria, in Biano, 1999. Competition with other sectors. There is always an unhealthy competition by other sectors with agriculture. For example, trade competing with farmers for bank loans in Nigeria. Donor agencies will help or cut down aid drastically. Treasury managers for less risky exposure outside agriculture and rural enterprise. Usman 2000. Competition between cattle areas and crop farmers. Conflict between farmers and emerging cattle herders has been a common feature of economic livelihood in West Africa. Dona 2006. Cases of farmer herders conflicts are widespread in Nigeria in recent times. In which 2005 stated that many farmers and herders have lost their lives and health, while others have experienced dwindling productivity in the herds. Many cases have been reported in savanna belts of the country, which has extended to the dry savanna of Oyo State, as well as the wet rainforest of Ondo and the state. The conflicts are a threat to peace and national stability. The results of such conflicts include destruction of crops, contamination of streams by cattle, overgrazing of land, disregard for local traditional authorities, female harassment of women or youth of host communities, indiscriminate burning, and defecation of cattle on roads, cattle theft, and strain of cattle. The socio-economic effects of the conflicts include reduction in crop yield and income for farmers, imprisonment of farmers, loss of lives and property, and loss of produce in storage. Nomads and the rockstars. Cattle rustling refers to the stealing of cattle. Traditionally, cattle rustling has been driven by the criminal intent to expropriate out for meat or for sale. Over the years, cattle rustling has evolved into a pattern of organized crime with immense criminal sophistication and efficiency. Hence, contemporary cattle rustlers operate with modern weaponry, and the operations are marked by translocational and transnational syndication, which has manifested in various scales and dimensions across the nation. For instance, in Scotland, 300 cattle were reported to have been rustled by the end of 2013, leading to the declaration of cattle rustling as a national emergency by the government, Daily Trust editorial of 5 February 2014. This scenario has accentuated the significance of cattle rustling as a fundamental national security problem in Nigeria. Competition with budgetary allocation. Nigeria's budget and fiscal management for 2015 were significantly challenging for the country because of the consistent fall in the international price of the country's major source of revenue, which is the oil. In addition to that particular challenge, 2015 happened to the Nigeria general election year. Politicians were deploying public resources to their electioneering over and above the normal budget priorities. Agriculture and rural development sector was allocated only 0.9% of the budget. This allocation to agriculture was meager, considering the importance of agriculture to the economy. Further riding and farming. The use of motorcycle for commercial service rapidly grew with massive retrenchment of civil servants in mid-1970s. Commercial motorcycles are popularly known as Okada, Shaba, Going, Express, and various local names in different parts of the country. Today, unemployment and underemployment have forced many people to explore the regular income and partial employment opportunities in Okada riding, which is found to be dominated by youth, only other children. The commercial motorcycle has been linked to a high rate of accidents with unprecedented mortality and morbidity, increasing air pollution from carbon emission and negative impact on family, competition and more crops and weeds. Crop competition occurs in two broad aspects. One, direct competition for nutrient, moisture, light, and space. And 2. Indirect competition through exhalation and production of aliphatic chemicals. Competition between weeds and crops is spread by other growth and development of food species. Interspecies competition occurs when two or more species coexist in time and space and simultaneously demand a limited resource. Intraspecies competition occurs when two or more plants of the same species coexist in time and space and simultaneously demand a limited resource. I will use this section to highlight my contribution to solar seeds in the field of farming system research. My research in the discipline of farming system research has to focus on blending, farming system, and weed management. The farming system, as defined by Agbola 1987, is the distribution of plants and animals in space and time. The combination of inputs will lead to a maximum production in socio-economic, cultural, and political contexts. Frisco and Westphal 1988 define farming system as a decision-making unit comprising the farm household, cropping, and livestock system that transforms land, capital, and labor into useful products that can be consumed or sold. Most agricultural technologies developed on station are yet to be adopted by farmers because the researchers did not put into consideration the ecological, cultural, and socio-economic circumstances of the farmers. The off-farm research approach seeks to ensure two linkages between various participants in the research process through a pragmatic bottom-up orientation. There is a need for recognition that farmers have something valuable to contribute to technology development. Thus, listening to farmers and knowing what they do can help to improve the potential for increased efficiency in the allocation of research resources. Early farming and flourishing the traditional farming system. Our team of investigators, Agbola, Olise, Adebowale, Ekayon, Tijani, Yoda, Abubakar, and 1992, evaluated the state of early farming in various states in Nigeria with their field support. Our findings show that traditional farmers developed a way of interplanting arable crops and plantation crops on the same space of land. And this for agroforestry is carried out to provide food for them and their families, while the plantation crops serve as a source of cash income. Introduction of early farming to farmers in the forest and the savannah of southwestern Nigeria. Early cropping has been considered as an alternative to shifting cultivation, counted to 1984. The idea of early cropping is consistent with the traditional farming system. The major difference between the traditional agroforestry and other concepts of early cropping is that the layout of early cropping is more organized and the alleys and straight lines. Since the introduction of early farming to southwestern Nigeria in the 1980s, emphasis has been on agronomic performance of the tree species and the associated agricultural crops. Much less has been done to ascertain the multiple effects of this strategy on the diffusion and adoption of early farming among farmers. Neither have been perceived innovation-specific characteristics that enhance adoption be investigated, although in Nigeria and Genova 1994. In light of this paucity of empirical data, we designed an agriculture-supported project to investigate farmers' awareness of early farming and determine the adoption level of technology at Nigeria and Uganda. Results of our study show that 80% of the farmers interviewed were aware of early farming. 33% among them knew about the technology through applicable. Most farmers knew about early farming through interpersonal sources, while mass media accounted for 12%. The majority of interpersonal sources were researchers. About 16% of respondents were favorably predisposed to early farming, while the 4% had positive attitudes. Closer investigation revealed that the farmers regarded any form of farming or trees as agroforestry. We identified major constraints that constitute hindrances to adoption of early farming. These include, among others, low yields in farmers' field, willingness to introduce trees to land that they have spent so much time and resources to care for cultivation, other species and modification of the microenvironment. Our study on the phytosociology of perennial woody species within hedgerows of Lucina and Senna from 16 on-farm farmer managed early crop fields. Southwestern Nigeria showed that hedgerows of the two species could provide suitable niches for certain woody species. The Lycia essential, the locust, for example, suffer less attack by dog-forming insects like the latter phytolamina, other hedgerows, and could not be conserved in early cropping systems. Akenefesi Musa and Janela 1995. The one shows the diversity and abundance of woody species in hedgerows of Lucina and Senna. Generally, the self-adaptive properties under the hedgerow species like the alley between the hedgerows, table 2. The significant differences in weight balance were also observed in the following order: control greater than Pusina and Pusina greater than 7. Table 3. Fertilizer use in cropping system. Southwestern Nigeria, fertilizer recommendation 15-15-15 NPK. However, using the critical level of 0.15 centimole per kilogram for potassium, we, according to Jamia Bella in 1997, found that only about 50% of 40 selected farm soils were deficient in potassium. Our investigations on 10 selected farms where we used the strip cropping technique. The row of maize with a complete nutrient was compared with an adjacent row where potassium was missing. In general, we realized quite close grain yield for both treatments, indicating no special potassium requirements. Mr. Vice Chancellor, these experiences led to the formulation of NPK 2010-5 instead of 15-15 NPK fertilizer. Another trial series we observed the significant effect of potassium planting and intercropping system. Table 4. We realized that in the intercropping system, potassium requirements will be higher due to higher above ground and below ground competition. Planting intercropping with melon increase the yield of planting by conserving moisture, reducing soil temperature, and wind infestation. According to the Name 1997. And research experience in multiple cropping. Multiple cropping is essentially the cropping of 2 or more crops on the same piece of land during the same year. Common intercropping systems are characterized by spatial arrangements such as mixed, row, alternate row, straight, relay, sequential, and multi-story cropping systems. Many workers agree that this system is sustainable and compatible with the traditional farming system. Jamia Dola and Kennedy 1996, Akenya Jamia Dola 1997, Jamia Dola and Guagu 2001. Maize is one of the staple foods in Nigeria and it features prominently in intercropping system. Opened by Jamia Dola in 1996, the source of our study on comparative effects of intercropping melon, cowpea and sweet potato with maize indicated that intercropping the different crop species was very profitable. Table 5. Dora Mika Jamia Dola 2001 evaluated the performance of groundnut at 3 densities in the cassava groundnut intercrop on-farm and off-station. Our results show that groundnut yield was declared as much as 23% off-station with increasing plant densities, while groundnut yield actually increased by up to 15% on farm honey plots, Table 6 and 7. In the context of traditional farming system, our results suggested that groundnut population is an important factor in cassava groundnut intercropping system. Another experiment, the Jamia Dola and Kennedy 1996, determined the biophysical compatibility of soybean and cassava intercrop and the optimum time for introducing cassava and soybean based on the intercropping systems. Our results indicated that soybean yield was generally reduced by intercropping Table 8, while the land yield ratio increased with the growth stage of soybean prior to the introduction of cassava company. The relative yield was enhanced by soybean intercrop. Table 9. Jamia Dola and Guagu 2001 assessed the compatibility of cocoyam mega cropping in intercropping system under field and low-tillage practices. It was observed that tillage had no significant effect on crop yield, but compare reduced the number of leaves of the cocoyam of each seedless. On the other hand, cocoyam yield was enhanced by intercropping with melon. Jamia Dola and Guagu and 2000 assessed the records of selection at the different nitrogen sources and the frequency of harvest. Results show that NPK 15-15 proved a better source of nitrogen and diammonium phosphates for adequate nutrient balance in the plant and soil. In addition, harvesting at 10 intervals give greater yield and income than any of the other harvesting frequencies attempted. Another study around Mika Buket, Jamia Dola and 2001 investigated the effects of nitrogen and fractional recovery modulated phosphorus mineral nitrogen and phosphorus diagrams, optic and project, using soil seismic as a test product. Our findings show that increasing total mineral nitrogen will increase P, while the reverse for the records of the cumulative mineral phosphorus. Air soybean was obtained with increased nitrogen and phosphorus application with a similar trend being observed for nitrogen values. Another experiment, the highest soybean grain yield was obtained at 30 kg nitrogen per hectare, while that of maize was at 60 kg nitrogen per hectare. Jamia Dola 2, Bukekago, and Adik 2000. Planting plays a dominant role in farming systems of the forest zone in Nigeria. Artinya January 2001. Investigated the effects of potassium on the productivity of plantain grown under different cropping systems. We observed that the potassium insufficiency decreased with decreasing rate of potassium. Though pre-application of 3 kg significantly increased plantain yield and bunch weight to 10. Studies show that the best crop to be grown in plantain as an intercrop was melon, and the high yield was obtained at 10.4 tons per hectare, 360 kg potassium per hectare. At the year another year, 2003. The study conducted in 1999 and 1998 to quantify the 4 fractions under natural farming and rural copper farming. Collaboration at January 2003. That agriculture was reallocated to non-readily available organic food fractions, irrespective of value type and previous land use. Farmer production under the 2 value types was comparative and increased linearly in value A, reaching slightly above 7 tons dry matter per hectare after 8 months of value. Soils with natural wood value have higher sodium and was extracted in organic food fractions that do the rural value level. And that's what it aimed at determining the effects of burning, the population and surface motion after 1 year of natural growth and rural copper crop farmers. For soil fractions and maize and potato yield, collaborated in 2003. Observed that fallow system and residue management options have no consistent and significant effect on crop capability within the short period of 2 years of the study. Table 12. Collaborated in 2003. Also reported that liquid crop fractions in soil increased as the duration of the fallow increased, the consequent increases in phosphorus obtained by maize and cassava crops. Phosphorus was transformed from a form unavailable to plants to available form during fallow, table 13. The effects of organic, organometal and liquid fertilizer on soil pH, organic matter and micronutrient contents in 2 soil types in Lagos State were investigated, marking date January 2009. Results of our study show that soil pH and organic carbon were positively influenced by the application of organic and organometal fertilizers. The micronutrient status of the soil was also enhanced. In January 2002, investigated the response of the to 2 tillage techniques and 4 planting densities. The crops already seeded grew and yielded better than those on several tillages. Optimal yield was obtained for that planting density of 44,000 plants per hectare. Ayekwe on-farm experience. Ayekwe on-farm started in 1986 as a tripartite collaborative effort between IIT, University of Ibadan, Old Oyo State, Ministry of Agriculture, and Natural Resources. Under the coordination of Dr. Musias of IIT. He coordinated the project from 1991 to 1994. The project from its inception was funded by Ford Foundation. The University of Ibadan took over total control of the subject project in 1993. Consequent of this stream, the main objective of the project was brought into the development of on-farm technologies for arable, family crops, as well as livestock through a more internationally approach. This new dimension was concretized by synthesizing part of activities as well as elucidating their effects. The first step was delineating areas of concentration and identity and identifying new frontiers for farming system research during the project cycle. This reasoning informed the baseline of the Ayekwe on-farm research area by the Jania Milaudo and Kumandewa. The baseline survey served as a benchmark for future assessment of the project. In the survey, abstract of graduate research at Ayekwe were created and the socio-economic analysis of the household were determined. It was observed that the top 5 problems encountered by Ayekwe farmers in their cropping enterprises were pests, lack of fertilizers, lack of chemicals, lack of trade facilities, and diseases, as shown in table 14. Availability of agricultural tools and support services. The objection shows that the Ayekwe community does not have supportive agricultural services environment. However, there was provision of improved seeds. This will not be unrelated to the provision of improved cassava cottons to the community as well as the assistance usually given to the farmers in the purchase of improved soybean and maize seeds. Weight management. Ways effectively compete beneficial and viable crop plants for space, nutrients, and sunlight and water. Interfere with agricultural operations and thereby reduce the yield and quality of the produce. The approaches in weed management include cultural method mainly by hand weeding at different weeding regimes for various crops, biological method using low growing crops, chemical method using various herbicides and bacterial growth management practices. The January 1998, investigated the effects of weeding regime and crop grazing on the performance of soybean. Our findings indicated that weed density and carbon increase in crop growth due to canopy erosion. Database operation was achieved at 50 down 75 around 100 cm interval spaces. One weeding reduced weed biomass by 70% compared to low weed control. Soybean grain yield was increased by 72 to 79% when soybean was weeded once compared to low weed. The effect of one additional weeding with the growth and yield of soybean was not significant. They were 16 and 17. The critical weed interference period required for soybean and study was established at 3 to 6 weeks after sowing, after which weed competition was not important. Our results indicated that weeding done only 4 to 5 weeks after sowing would be cost effective, while extra weeding was considered superfluous. More than 70% of the Nigerian farmers cultivate less than 2 hectares of land and depend only on manual labor. Michael and January 2009, in the result of the 16 local governments of Taraba State reported that farm size was smaller in the mountains zone, less than 1 hectare, compared with 1 to 3 hectares in other zones. Farmers in all the zones indicated that weed infestation reduced fertilizer use efficiency, hindered harvesting, increased pests, and caused drainage crops in maize. Using melon and pumpkin as cover crops, Mugabe Tijani and Shia 2000 assessed the influence of tillage regimes and cover crops on weed control in cocoyam field. Results of our study showed that weed density was highest at 6 weeks after planting, when crop rotation had not closed, while the increased weed density was recorded at 10 weeks after planting during 2 cropping seasons. Pumpkin significantly reduced weed density respective of the tillage method. In another study at PMF in 1997, reported that intercropping planting 20,000 stands of melon per hectare gave better planting yield, melon for coverage, and reduced the weed emergence. In January 2001, presented the effects of spacing and duration of weed association on cocoyam growth and yield. The source of the study showed that the lay weeding up to 5 hectares sold caused 49% reduction in grain yield of cowpea, while on the other also suffered 69% yield reduction. They were 18A and 18B. In Nigeria, we control account for about 1/3 of the maintenance costs in immature rubber plantations, secondary government 1996. The influence of the 11 rubber-based cropping system was evaluated on weed species composition, density, and root count, secondary January 2003. The source of our study showed that the weed biomass was least under rubber cassava intercrop. Our study also showed that the use of intercrop secondary enhanced weed management beyond rubber plantations and the past activities of some weeds. Communal director and the project farmer compete vigorously in local agriculture and release of pests, the growth of other weeds, the characteristics commonly associated with plants with allelopathic influence. Allelopathy, the regulation of growth of one plant species and chemical relief from another, caused widely in many plant communities, accurate job 1985. January 1989 said the relative biological activities of the basic and seed portions were not split, like dietary and dietary functions of chromatological extracts of surrounding and white placentia, seed germination and seed growth of tomato. We observed that the entire seed functions of the 2 weed species produced a more detrimental effect than the dietary and the spirit functions, respectively. The effects were more on root than on shoe development. Another study, January 1991, reported that the development of young seedling root was more inhibited than that of young seedling shoots. The soil quality of tomato. Soil qualities of 3 tomato varieties, Roma BL and local, and NHLE 158-1 that were ripened on the parent plant, temporary polythene, black polythene, and laboratory table by the time at the boy year 2005. The source of our study showed that high catfish 50% of the fruits price for a local between 100 cm and 105 cm, rather 1 pm and LHLE 150 at 1 to the half, C50 of 150 cm and 220 cm respectively. For the 3 varieties of tomato, the lycopene contents are significantly higher when the day system than the other system. The moisture content, crude fiber, lycopene, and crude protein contents of fruits that ripen on the parent plant are significantly higher than those ripened in other media. And that's what the boy here doing in January 2006 reported that except for the moisture content and ether extra, the phosphorus level has significant effect on the key total soluble solid like propane and ascorbic acid, through fiber, through protein contents of the major foods. With the optimum values recorded in 2.4 kg per hectare. Medical yearly program, Mr. Vice Chancellor, I was appointed by the Dean of Agriculture, Agriculture and Forestry Production in Zimbabwe, 17th Chairman, Table 20, to direct the activities of the practical yearly program in Faculty of Agriculture and Forestry, which spread from Monday 1st of August 2005. After assuming office, observed that the attitude of the students to training was very poor. Also observed decadence in activities of the graduate students, including absenteeism, lateness and neglect instructors, insubordination, pregnancy unit program, and baby nursing, vandalism, use of bad people to carry out the assignments, and others. Then set up a 5-man committee to prepare practical yearly program handbook for presidents for the faculty. Members of the committee Professor Abodoyi Omitoyi, Dr. Shosanya, and Mr. S.A. Elijah Mori, as well as Mr. Lowe. The essays and regulations regarding conduct of students during the practical year, continual activities of the University of Ibadan, the curriculum, the Faculty of Agriculture and Forestry, aimed at achieving the vision of the university, which is to expand the frontier of knowledge and transform the society through innovation, and that of the faculty, be a world-class training and research center in the sustainable production and management of renewable natural resources. The various activities of the URTP were tailored to contribute to achieving their work visions and help the faculty in achieving one of its missions, that is, to produce knowledgeable graduates of integrity in the renewable natural resources sector that are highly employable and able to create employment. The various activities of the URTP were tailored contribute to achieving the vision of the faculty and achieving one of its missions, to produce knowledgeable graduates. In order to ensure all this and bring the best out of the students participating in the URTP, rules and regulations were prepared to guide and moderate their activities and behaviors. Compliance with and treatment of the rules and regulations are subject to rewards and sanctions at the case may be. Students will bring the ground rule at the introduction of the URTP handbook. The chairman's action was widely reported, but I remained resolute in the execution of the contents of the handbook. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I'm happy to report that the behavior of most of the students were molded, later became friends, and was not only recommended to succeed in Professor S. Okada, but continued the chairmanship of the URTP, but was also honored an award for contribution to the development of the URTP. Summary conclusions and recommendations. Having understood the significant role of agriculture in maintenance of human livelihood, security and enhanced standard of living at individual, family, community, national and global levels, it is necessary to take agricultural system and processes to have competitive advantage at policy and decision-making levels, on the field and at post-harvest levels. Competition between agriculture and infrastructure, urbanization, petroleum and other sectors is reflected in the denial of poor attention given to agriculture and struggle to share limited resources, including land and capital. Corruption within agriculture and non-agricultural systems has had an untold and affordable negative impact on Nigerian agriculture. Conclusively, well-designed sustainable farming system with local realities, various agroecological zones, effective sustainable management that addresses the peculiar situation is the answer to the primary conditions limiting agricultural productivity. This needs to be complemented by other enabling policies, programs and projects that are usually beyond the control of the farmers of agriculture to yield the best and refer to the lost glory in agriculture. The following recommendations are therefore suggested. There is need for effective supply chain structure, which involves various stages including consumers, retailers, distributors, manufacturers, and raw material suppliers. Nigeria needs to modify the economy and harvest to the fullest agricultural potential. Nigeria also needs to remove savings made from block leakages and fund usually lost to competitive budgetary items, the overheads, capital budgets of ministries, departments and agencies, MDs, for agricultural development. Agricultural youth development program should be made available in rural areas to train youth in modern farming techniques so as to improve their knowledge and make farming more attractive to them. Local development plans should be established to reduce cattle areas and farmers' companies in different parts of the country. Supporting fiscal policy should be in place. Lower taxes and duties on farm inputs and machineries are to be paid. Market information system should be made available for farmers' use in order to have adequate farming and circumference and uncertainties. Insurance of farmers and farm producers as well as services support like private water and cleanliness, creation of advances, dedicated to the use of blood vendors in going down the way to reduce product contamination. In lab competition is illustrated with the parable of the sower in Matthew 13:3-9. In verse 7 specifically, it was shown that other plants can affect the yield of the soil in 100% units, while verse 5 also underscores the need for soil amendment. Hence, profitability of a tropical farming system will be based on a multidisciplinary approach in order to reduce competition among the competitors. What shall I say?
Thank you.